Now, one of the final things I wanted to talk about was, I met you, over a year ago now. I came out to Vegas here, and while I was here the very first time, I went to one of these long drive events. And what I noticed, like, I kept watching all these different pros, or, the long drive guys, and I noticed that, well, I didn't see any personally, but not one person I saw had a flatter type of golf swing. Like there's a one-plane swing, a two-plane swing.
Sure.
Like what I noticed was all these long drive guys, they were all up here as they were going to hit that golf ball.
Yeah.
So what about that? Like when I first started working with you, you seemed a little flat there.
Yeah.
You kind of let it, go down a little. So we've worked on getting it up a little bit. What's sort of your thought on up versus flatter?
Up versus flatter, basically. The reason you see the up move so much in long drive is that we're trying to create as much width in the swing as possible and trying to get our hands as far away from our head. Bigger width creates bigger swing arc creates more speed.
Right.
It's pretty much that simple.
Yeah.
And I was a little flatter, just, that was where I was comfortable at the time, and with the swing that I was working with, that was what worked the best. But it wasn't necessarily the best position for me to actually be in.
Right.
And so through us working together, I've gotten my hands a little bit higher, and I'm showing you guys all swings that I would use on the golf course. So I'm not doing my long drive kind of swing, but my hands are still a little higher.
Sure. My
backswing's a little bit shorter. It'll get right around parallel, but doesn't go past it.
Right.
Too often anyway.
Right.
And
like I just keep coming across so many people that are doing this flat golf swing.
Yeah.
And they just don't hit it anywhere.
Yeah.
Or if they do, they're blowing it right and hooking it left and all sorts of weird shots. So, my kind of thought on that is, I want it up a little bit higher. I want it a little above the shoulder line, more of sort of a traditional type of golf swing, but a lot tighter and more based on torque and forces, which allow that golf swing to repeat. I don't want you, doing this big, long, loose, floppy golf swing. Like, I want it tight, but I want it up a little bit higher. And,
sure.
Just in looking at all you different long drive guys, I just kind of made that connection or realization.
Sure.
That not a lot of you guys are doing this, flat type of golf swing.
Right.
And you guys hit it the longest in the world. So, maybe there's something to be said about going up a little bit higher in relationship to getting more power.
To getting more power and more distance. Yeah.
So,
yeah, I would say so. From a real flat position at the top of the backswing, your timing has to be just unbelievable to square it up at impact. Typically what you're going to see from that kind of position is that you're either going to blow it right or you're going to snap hook it left. And that was where I was.
Absolutely.
I was blowing a lot of balls right and snap hooking them left. Fortunately in long drive, like I said, we get 6 balls per round. So, if you happen to square one up, then great. But I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be the guy in long drive competition who's coming down to his 5th and 6th ball going, okay, well, I know I'm going to hit at least one of these out of 6 good, or I hope, because after you've blown the first 4 out of bounds, that grid starts to look a lot smaller.
Yeah, sure. Well, my sort of thought was, I really wanted you to kind of get all 6 balls in play, and, the first one being half decent, so then you could start letting it go on the next few shots.
And this year at Worlds, I averaged 4 out of 6 in the grid, and that's the first time I've ever done that. So.
That's huge. All right, well, why don't you hit one more, and then we'll wrap it up.
All right.
See that guy on the tractor out there? Let's try to hit that guy.
He's a little too short, Paul. I'll be flying it over his head.
Yeah, he's only at about 310.
All right, I'll go ahead and rip it one for you guys.
Well, that was the long drive swing, everybody. You can see he really went at it there.
Yeah, there's a little bit of difference there.
Well, Mike, that's very insightful tips you've given us, and hopefully, people have kind of learned a lot about, what a long drive, the current long drive, champion, of hitting the world's longest golf ball in a golf tournament was thinking, or is thinking, when they're hitting the ball. So hopefully everybody can use that and, help to get more distance themselves.
Yeah. I do clinics and and stuff all over the world, and that's the number one question I get is how do I hit it farther? And like I was saying, hit it better, hit it in the center of the face, and you'll hit it farther, I guarantee it. And you know, from there, just work on your body, getting stronger and faster, and get your clubs fit to you, your driver head, your shaft being most important.
Right. Keep the wrists loose.
Keep the wrists
Use
nice
the
and
body.
loose. Use the body. Create that torque in the core. Fire it. You know, kind of fire out of the gate, so to speak. You know, if you're thinking of the gate being the top of the swing.
Right.
And you know, good luck to you. Hope you guys are hitting it 20, 30 yards farther.
Great. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Paul.